Messiah, you guys look so adorably touristy together in like the best possible way. You're very welcome. My name is Todd. And you guys are? Nice to meet you. And this one?
Yes.
Fair enough. You seem very sweet and nice. I love that. You seem like trouble, but you know, we'll deal with this, I suppose. Fair enough. How do you two know each other?
We're just friends.
Just friends?
Yeah.
Okay. So you and I, we should definitely be friends. You seem cool. Is she as much trouble as she seems, or is it as cool as she might be?
She's trustworthy.
Yeah?
That's why I'm her friend.
Okay, fair enough. She's very sweet to you. I mean, I guess you have to be in your job, right? You can't be and be like distrustworthy and stuff like that. You'd be like sneaking in and doing awful naughty things all the time. I like that, you're not so bad. All right, fair enough. Do you go out a bit? All right, cool. I guess after I'll take your number and then we'll do whatever. You have to come chaperone to make sure she doesn't like steal my. So you've probably noticed when you're out that the hottest girls are almost never alone. They're always, or about 99% of the time, they're in groups. So if you want to up your quality, one of the single best and easiest things you can do toward that end is to learn to master approaching groups. All right, so what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to give you a simple 4-point checklist of things you need to do in a group interaction in order to make it successful. All right, now this is by no means the absolute comprehensive manifesto on group game, but these are absolute key points that are going to get you a huge jump in your game very, very quickly. So the first one is engage the group. Engage everyone in the group, or at least everyone relevant in the group. So let's say you walk up to maybe 4 girls. If you talk to one girl and leave out the other 3, they're going to get upset, jealous, offended, and the girl herself is going to feel awkward over the fact that you're leaving out her friends. But if you talk to them all and are friends with them all, now nobody's jealous, and when you leave after the interaction, they're going to be talking to their girl about how cool you were, how fun you were, that she's so lucky you talked to her, or is she going to call you, those kind of things, as opposed to talking to her afterwards and be like, what an asshole, he's so rude, I don't like him, what a loser, etc. Okay? So getting the group on your side is absolutely critical. Girls respond very, very strongly to social proof. Also, by getting the group on your side, you're going to avoid the situation where the girl's friends pull her away. As you get more advanced in game, most of the time when you lose an interaction, most of the time when it doesn't go your way, it's not going to be because the girl wasn't attracted to you, because you're an attractive guy. Most of the time when you lose interactions, it's going to be because her friends dragged her away, because her friends objected. So truly looking out for and managing the friends from the beginning is absolutely critical. Now, little deeper point on this, there's 2 ways to engage the group. One is to go in and just open the whole group together. The other is to open the girl you're into and then engage the group from there. All right, if you're opening the whole group together, generally the opener is very simple. It's almost the same kind of opener you would use on a girl by herself. You just make it collective. So instead of, hey, you looked adorable, hey, you guys look adorable. Or, hey, you looked interesting, hey, you all look interesting together, right? Basically, you just make it collective and you're good to go. If you open something indirect, like a story and observation, just make that story or observation to the group instead of the girl. So very, very simple there. If you're opening the girl and then merging onto her friends, the key thing is to make that transition as soon as possible. You'd like to engage with something impactful. As soon as you have her attention, you want to say, oh, hey, are these your friends? Who are they? Nice to meet you, right? And then proactively on your terms bring the friends into it so they don't feel ignored, they don't feel neglected. You like this to happen very, very early on. Final point on this topic, if it's a very loud environment, you probably are going to have to engage the girl you like first and then engage the groups, because it's going to be hard to talk loud enough for more than 1 or 2 of them to hear you at a time. So you're going to kind of have to go around like, hey, nice to meet you, a few words, hey, nice to meet you, a few words, and just deal with the group that way. Also in a loud environment, you'll get away a little bit more with talking one-on-one with your girl, simply because nobody can hear you, but you do at some point still need to engage the group and still need to make them not feel left out. So that's the first part, engage the group. Next part, pick your target. Make it clear which girl you're into. Now, that does not mean giving her compliments and bowing down at her feet and calling her a goddess and an angel. But what it does mean is you're going to create sexual tension with only one of the girls. All right? With everybody else, you're engaging them, you're being positive, you're being friendly, and they all should like you. And you should have a positive, fun vibe with all of them. But sexual tension is created with only one girl. All All right. I did a video recently. It's called the caption I was like words that sex. I think it's called like sex words that I use, something like that. Anyway, I'm going to link that video here. That's the idea of how you want to separate your target from the other girls. Basically, in short, there are words like nice, kind, sweet, friendly that establish a friendly relationship. There are words like mysterious, devious, trouble, naughty, sexy that establish a man-to-woman relationship. And you want to use those words that are establishing a man-to-woman relationship with your target, not so much with the friends. Also, if you're going to tease or give shit to one of the girls, you want to pick out your target for that. So you're trying to create an emotional roller coaster and emotional relevance with your target. With the other ones, you're just trying to be super nice, super fun, and super cool. So that's the general way you're going to pick target. There are other things you can do to pick a target. For example, when you enter a group, where you sit and where you position yourself can have a lot to say about who's going to be your target. So if your girl's on this side of the group over here, and you open way over here on the other side with a bunch of people in between you, it may be logistically impossible for you to have a clean conversation with your target. So you may have almost ruined your chances by sitting in the wrong place, right? You want to sit near enough to the girl you're interested in, and you want to sit in a place where you can possibly get isolation and get a one-on-one conversation with her. Right? Other things you can do is potentially you could pull her up, have her come dance with you, different things like that to get physical isolation. But one way or another, usually verbally and usually through sexual attention, but there are a variety of ways, you need to make an indication of which one is your target. If you don't do this, you're gonna, instead of choosing the girl you want, you're going to get chosen by the most desperate girl, which is usually the ugly, overweight one that has never had a boyfriend. And she's gonna come on to you, and then her friends will be like, oh, Bertha is finally found a guy she likes. I guess we better leave her to him, right? You don't want that situation. If you don't pick a target, it will be chosen for you, and most likely it's not the hot one that's gonna choose you, okay? So you need to actively pick your target. That's step 2. Step 3, you need to determine the relationships within the group. This is particularly important if you're talking about a group that has guys in it, okay? Quick word on guys. For the most part, until they've actually become a threat or challenged you or been an interference in your game, just treat them the same as you treat girls, right? The general principle is guys are just ugly girls, right, in terms of how you interact with them. However, it is important to know who they are. It's important to know, is this the boyfriend? Is this the ex-boyfriend? Is this the brother? Is this the platonic coworker that has a crush on her? All these different dynamics are going to make a big difference. So very critical thing to do early on in the interaction is find out the relationships. It's going to tell you so much. And actually, if you find it out, say there's a couple hot girls in the group, if you find out that one of them is with the boyfriend and the other one's single, that's actually really important information because it's going to help you to even hone in and choose your target better as well. But what you want to do is ask the question, how do you guys all know each other? Or something similar to that. Okay? Ask that question and get the information. Find out how they know each other. It doesn't have to be exactly that wording, but something along those lines. When you ask that question, how do you know each other? Please, please, please ask it to someone in the group who likes you, right? If you ask the guy in the group how they know each other and he has a crush on the girl but they're not together, I can guarantee you he's not going to say, I'm the pathetic platonic orbiter that wants to sleep with her and she doesn't like me. You're not going to get that information. You're going to be like, oh yeah, we're kind of together. Or something like that, and then it's going to be very awkward and it's going to be like a personal challenge to him and insulting to him when you proceed otherwise. But if you ask the girl and she's like, oh yeah, we're just friends, now if he claims otherwise, you know he's lying, and he also looks really lame and stupid. All right? So ask someone who likes you, who's going to give you an honest answer or even a favorable answer to that question, how do you guys know each other? Okay, final thing in dealing with groups is you want to determine the proper way to proceed. Because there are groups where you will be able to isolate with a girl, have her leave the group with you, and even take a girl home. There are groups where that's going to be almost impossible. And it's going to have to deal with a number of factors. It has to do with how many girls are in the group. Usually, not always, but usually in a group of 2 girls, it's going to be very hard to isolate because if you leave with the girl, that's leaving her friend completely by herself. This isn't always the case. Let's say the girls are out, the friend's kind of tired and didn't want to party in the first place, the girl's with you, and it's and the friend is on your side and likes you. A lot of times, the friend will just give you her blessing, leave you with the girl, go home and sleep, and you're good to go. So it's not to say you can never isolate in a 2-set, but it's usually not going to happen. It's usually the less likely scenario. So in that kind of situation, you're going to have to do something like either get a number and just follow up later, or you have to do something like move the whole group somewhere where you can find a wingman or a friend for her friend or something along those lines. So there may be a different logistic involved with the 2-set. With sets of 3 and 4, it really depends how they know each other. So that's why determining the relationship is so important. With a big set like 10 girls, couple different things. Oftentimes, if you have 10 girls and 1 girl goes missing, not a big deal, nobody even really notices, and it's totally fine. So oftentimes a big enough group, it's almost as though the girl's alone. However, with a big group, sometimes a big group isn't a big group. What I mean by that is, let's say there's a group of 10 people, but the girls that you like is really close with 2 or 3 of them, and the other ones are just acquaintances. It may look like a group of 10, it's actually a group of 2 or 3. So that's the important thing to find out as well, and that has to do with determining the relationships. But the key thing you're trying to find out is, can you isolate or not? Can you isolate the girl? Can you get a one-on-one conversation? And better yet, can you get a one-on-one conversation where the girl's friends are no longer in sight, no longer like top of mind? If that's the case, you should definitely try for that, and you should be trying potentially to take the girl home. If that's not the case, what you want to do is massively win over the friends, get them on your side, and then you're going to settle for a number and end up probably getting the girl out on a date later. But knowing the plausible close is going to be very, very important. If you're trying to pull in a situation where it's just going to be offensive to the friends and it's not going to fly, you're going to be ruining what's already a very, very good set. If you're too quick to settle for a number in a situation where you could be isolating and pulling, you're missing a lot of golden opportunities. All right? So these are the key factors you're going to look for in dealing with a group. So just to review, what are they? Okay, number 1, engage the friends. Like, make sure that you're on good terms with everybody. Number 2, pick the target, or you will be picked by the target you probably don't want. Number 3, determine the relationships in the group. It's going to be so critical to find that information out because it's going to tell you how to navigate everything else. And number 4, determine the appropriate close. There's some sets that will be closable one way, some sets that will be closable another way. And if you're pushing for an impossible close or settling for too soft of a close when something else is available, you're going to be drastically reducing your results. All right, so that's a quick primer on how to do group sets. Obviously, there's a lot more. There's literally infinite scenarios that can come up within the idea of 2-set, 3-set, 4-set, bar, club, day game, whatever. But that's a good primer, and those general principles should put you in a really good position no matter what group situation you're presented in.